What's up, Virginia? This is your Uncle Alex here with Virginia News. And Merry almost Christmas. As you guys can see, I am wearing my Christmas sweater today. This is my last day of work before a very short Christmas break. And so today I'm repping the Bumble. And as Yukon Cornelius told us, Bumbles do indeed bounce. And that's why once I start working up a sweat today at work, underneath I have got the Yukon Cornelius, the legendary prospector who licks his pickaxe. And today we've got a news article. It's not new news, it's actually old news, but it's very appropriate news, very topical for the holiday season, about a mysterious gift giver. But before that, I actually recently got one of my Christmas presents a little bit early. My roommate got me this book here. See if that comes into focus. It doesn't seem like it will. It's called The Theory of Everything Else by Dan Schreiber, a voyage into the world of the weird. And I have heard much about this book, and I can't wait to dive into it. That's going to be exciting. But in the news, this happened in August of 2019. It says, as the headline, mysterious men with TV sets on their heads are leaving televisions on people's porches. This is from Newsweek. Many different outlets picked this story up, but this is the one I'm reading for you. So it says here, dozens of Virginia residents woke up to discover abandoned television sets in their yards, courtesy of strange men with TVs on their heads. More than 60 old-fashioned cathode ray tube sets from the 1980s and 90s appeared on porches and lawns in Richmond on Saturday night. Residents called police, who pulled surveillance tapes from local home security systems and found the boob tube bandit was to blame. That's hilarious. The boob tube bandit. Legendary. It was a guy dressed in a jumpsuit with a TV for a head, Richmond local Adrian Garner told NBC 12. It's the weirdest thing. He squats down, puts the TV there, and walks off. It's really weird. Police believe the dumping was a team effort, coordinated to take place within a 1-hour window. This isn't the first time this has happened, though. In August 2018, residents of Gray Oaks, a Richmond subdivision, woke up to about 20 abandoned sets on their yard. No footage was captured of the perpetrators, so it's unknown if they were costumed, but the similar timing could indicate it's an annual ritual. And what a cool annual ritual that would be. Just leaving TV sets on people's porches. The audacity. The sheer audacity. Especially TV sets that nobody's going to want. We have a team of officers out here working together, collecting the TVs. We're upwards of 60 TVs so far, Lieutenant Matt Pekka of the Henrico County Police Department told NBC 12. Pekka said the vintage sets will be brought to the county's solid waste division for disposal. Criminal charges of illegal dumping or littering on private property could be filed against the TV-headed culprits, but tracking them down could prove difficult. They wore gloves and jumpsuits, so no fingerprints were left behind, and their TV set helmets made identifying their faces impossible. Most residents think the TV droppings are just a harmless stunt. I'm thinking it's a senior prank, maybe a senior year going into high school, or bored college kids before they go back to school trying to create a big buzz before they go back to college, Michael Kroll told the station. And I would agree, this is probably some sort of group effort stunt that these people pulled off, and I hope that no serious pursuit in a legal aspect of this was ever pursued, because it is really just a harmless prank, and it's freaking awesome too. Just absolutely legendary. I think the entertainment value that came out of this is certainly enough to dismiss this of any sort of potential wrongdoing. In a legal sense. I think that these people, if found out, should be given a full presidential pardon, and that's my 2 cents. If that's the case, residents should probably expect another TV delivery in August of 2020, but the biggest mystery is where the perpetrators got so many old-school televisions, which are heavy and have mostly been phased out in favor of lighter flat screens. That's not really a mystery. Go to any thrift store. You will probably find a number of these cathode ray tube sets. Drive along any sort of street in a city during trash dumping day, and you'll probably find a couple more. They're not too hard to find. People are dumping these things off like hotcakes or candy. Like cats they don't want, because your cats don't stop breeding. Spay and neuter your cats, everybody. It's probably about as hard to get rid of a old TV as it is a cat. I've got like 4 of them in my house, so I like doing old school gaming, so I guess that's why I have them. But anyway, TV-headed characters do have a place in pop culture, though. Robots with television heads have appeared in movies, anime, and comic books. In Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples' long-running comic saga, a robot named Dango has an old Catherine Ray set for a head and wears a green jumpsuit. Yeah, there are characters like this in various science fiction and any kind of fiction, really. That's not too terribly uncommon. And in fact, around the time that this was happening, the year 2019, a friend of mine named Ivan, he was in a band called Pelicanesis, and he also had a solo project called Jaguardini, and he was really doing a lot of work around this time. And Jaguardini, we'll listen to a little bit of him here. Shout out to Ivan. Made really good darkwave music, and one of his tropes was this character that he had of him wearing a TV set on his head. And look, this was 3 years ago, so this was probably released in 2020. And there he is, crawling around forest with a TV on his head. Here's another one of his music videos. The TV head again. This one he put out 1 year ago. And here's another one from about 3 years ago. This is his coronavirus PSA song. And there it is again. It's your TV-headed character. Now, Jaguardini's based out of Harrisonburg, which is not too terribly far from Richmond. So when this news was blowing up and being shared everywhere, I remember Ivan actually put out a statement saying that he had nothing to do with it. His hands were totally clean of this TV-headed gifting that was going on in Richmond, and that he didn't want no trouble with the law. So don't go looking Ivan's way. But unless you want to listen to some good music, Ivan does make really good music, and I fully endorse his brand of darkwave synth pop. Very cool stuff. But now we are coming to a close in the year 2023, and all of the year-end recaps are coming out. So here is the just a quick little overview of Odd Virginia on YouTube and on Buzzsprout. Now, Buzzsprout is, if you don't know, the platform that I upload to, who distributes to all the podcasting platforms. So you're going to be listening to Spotify or Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or any of the other ones that basically aren't YouTube. That's all going through Buzzsprout. So they're tracking all of those analytics and statistics and stuff. So let's just take a look and see how we did in 2023. 33 episodes uploaded, and that's only because I had to upload the entirety of the backlog over again, because we got taken off of Buzzsprout for a little while because I couldn't keep paying the monthly cost to keep those episodes hosted. So everything had to go back up again. And Odd Virginia was once again in the top 50% of all Buzzsprout podcasts, which, sounds pretty cool, but it's really not that huge of a feat. Hopefully by the next year we can get into the 25%, which means 105 downloads in the first 7 days of each episode. Our most popular city was Richmond. Not a surprise there, not at all. But we also had a good number of people tuning in from Roanoke, Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, and Washington, D.C. Cool. Thank you guys from out of state for listening. In fact, 22 different countries tuned in. Obviously, the U.S. is a big one, but the U.K., Australia, Guatemala, and Brazil, for some reason, are also tuning in. And I suppose, if you're not from Virginia, then what reason would you really have to listen to this show unless you just like the paranormal stories, in which case, Australia, UK, Guatemala, Brazil makes total sense. Creature That Followed Me Home is our top ranking episode, and also not a surprise because it's also the first episode, so that's usually going to be most people's introduction. And yeah, that's about it for the Buzzsprout analytics. If you guys do want to give me a bit of a Christmas present this year, here's how you can do so. Just go to Spotify or Google Podcasts and leave a 5-star rating, because actually in previous years we've performed even better on Buzzsprout, and that traffic seems to be going downwards a little bit, whereas the YouTube traffic is now eclipsing all of that. So send us just go into Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Even if you don't listen on those, just click the 5 stars for the show. It would make a huge difference there, because that's how it's going to be recommended to people, is how many good reviews they get. That's what pushes it further in front of more eyes. And in YouTube land, we've had a really big year. Well, actually, just a really big past couple of months. So this is our line graph showing overall subscribers to the channel from the beginning in September of 2021. With a little bump right here just for the initial people who found out that I had a new YouTube thing going on and wanted to click on that and subscribe. So those are all of our first followers. And then it's been pretty steady, maybe like 5 to 15 subscribers per month over the course of 2021, or the end of 2021 to 2022, and then really drops off this past summer. And then in October, we started pushing the show pretty hard on Instagram, so we see a huge bump here. And then here in 2023, or December rather, we have skyrocketed. So thank you everybody who has recently joined in to check out Odd Virginia. I hope you stick around, and I wish you guys a really happy beginning of the next year. I've got a new podcast episode in the works right now that a lot of people have been asking for. So hopefully before the end of December, I'll have that ready and up for you guys to enjoy. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Stay odd, Virginia.